Good morning. Welcome to Build Day 38. And Kaylee greets you. Huh? You saying hello to everybody, giving them all a good morning wiggle. We've got a problem to attend to this morning. And this wire. Sorry, I got glare on the screen. I can't see what I'm filming. But it's this wire. I've got to figure out what the hell that goes to. Now, I was able last night to track down all the lighting. Every display lights up. Everything that has a light in it lights up. That I could tell last night. The one thing I couldn't check was all the different control boards. To get to half of them, I would have had to ruin cobwebbing and everything else. Just to go in and see if the light's on the board. So, the best way of doing it would be to turn everything on and then go through the haunt from start to the end of where I've gotten things hooked up and see what's working and what's not. I've got one item that should not be working. So I've got the air compressors turned on, systems are charging. I am going to turn on all the boards and walk the haunt and see which is running and which is not here in a little bit. And then while we're talking about turning things on, one thing I forgot to address yesterday when I was explaining the electrical and stuff. One aspect I forgot to bring up was circuit breakers. The person that asked the question about wiring and everything also wanted to know how many circuit breakers I use. And right now, and the haunt is fully wired up. Oh, we got a special guest. The set dresser. She's out here bringing some dirt in. A couple of tripping hazard holes over in the front garden there. Spider witch area. But how many circuit breakers do I use in the haunt? All together, 5 in the part. And the part one is the power box is plugged, and the outlet it's on also does our living room with all the lights and the TV or stereo when they're on, what have you. We have never blown that breaker with the power box. And the power box runs basically all the lighting, all the control boards, anything that takes low voltage comes off of that outlet. And it only uses, I want to say probably 6 amps, maybe 7 amps at the most. And that's probably being a little gracious. It's probably a lot less than that. So that's my part. The other breakers, I've got 2 breakers that are doing double duty. They're 2 30 amp breakers. Half of the breakers are running 2 air compressors. There's one on each 30 amp breaker. And then the rest of them, the other 15 amps, is for running the haunt. And then the other 3 are 15 amp breakers. One of them runs just 1 air compressor, and I put it through the window into my workshop downstairs, and that's on a 15 amp breaker. And then the other 2 are just basic 15 amp breakers. As far as the household current, other than the 2 that run the air compressors, Actually, I could probably dedicate them to just running the air compressors and then plug everything into the three other 15 amp breakers and still not blow breakers. I am overcautious when it comes to household current. The last thing I want to do is in the middle of being open having to run around and flip breakers, so I give myself way more than what I need. If I didn't have all the pneumatics, where I would need air compressors and stuff for it, I could probably get away with 2 to 3 15 amp breakers. Considering I'm doing, most of my haunt is low voltage. Now, if the whole haunt was household current, I would need a lot more than that. Low voltage uses a lot less amperage. So, that helps. Now, hopefully that solves the question on circuit breakers and explains it a little bit. You also need to be careful when you're wiring, and it depends on where you live. The way I protect all my circuits and where plugs are plugged in and stuff is based on the weather for my area. I'm up in Washington State. I'm in central Washington, not over in the Puget Sound area, which is a lot wetter. If I was over in the Puget Sound area, I would do all my outlets and stuff way different than the way I do it here. Now, like right now, for a lot of you that have been paying attention to the news, about, what was it, Milton? Hurricane Milton that went across Florida from the Gulf. Well, down that area this year, just not this year, but this time of year, it's hurricane season. They have a lot of nasty storms. And the way we protect our stuff up here in Washington State would not work for down in that area, just for the simple fact of the weather. The amount of water that they get and the windstorms and everything else. So it is, it's very regional when you do your, when you run your electrical. I've got some other haunt friends that are up in Canada, and it's not uncommon for them. Halloween comes and they've got 6-7 inches or more of snow on the ground. And even with that, you have to do your wiring a little bit different to protect things. So, it's also regional, Anyway, and here she comes again with more dirt. And she's not asking for help as usual.
It's just a bucket of...
Yeah, but you're still having to carry it.
Yeah, I am.
Heavy.
That, not me.
But, anyway, as far as what we're going to be working on today, it's going to be Pirate. I've got to track down the one wire. That's first on my list. Then we're going to be over in Pirate, trying to get all the lighting done today. And then once that's done, we'll see where we go. And I think I'm being called. So that's it for this segment. Okie dokie. Trying to figure out what the heck is going on. Got my wire problem fixed. The extra wire I had was for the witch control box out in the entrance for the the witch right by the front gate, and trying to figure out why the hell I had it plugged into number 7 on the light thing. That was the first control board I plugged in or put in, so it should have been hooked up to the number 1 button on the control panel for the all the control boxes. So I'm trying to figure out how the hell it got over to number 7. But past that, I also was looking at the back of the box. Better look at in broad daylight. That's the number 1 circuit. That's the witch out there in the entrance. So I went and brought the power line up, plugged it in, turned it on. We walked the haunt, and I noticed the witch out there in the entrance wasn't coming on. I got to looking at the box. The box has a couple of little lights on it. When there's power to it, those lights come on. And the lights weren't on. So that's telling me that even though it's plugged into the right slot, I have number 1 switch on, there's no power there. So I went and I tested the jack to make sure the jack hadn't failed. Sure enough, it had power. It was fine. So I took a LED light, bared the ends on the connection wire, went out there to the witch, undid the connection to the box, bared the wires on that one, and touched the LED to it. LED didn't come on. So that told me right there, for some reason, between the power box and the control box out at the entrance, there was no power for some strange reason. I go, okay, great. The wiring I used for that was some of the stuff I had left over from last year. So I figured, oh, okay, maybe after sitting out in the sun, you know, and everything, maybe the line fails. I'm going to have to pull a new line. And let's see, where is it here? There it is. I started to pull the line, and I'm glad I did, from here, you know, tracing it back to go up the wall, and all the way out. And I got to about here, right where we're starting to go up the wall here, and ran into that. I had forgotten when I ran the cord for the witch, it was a little bit short, and I didn't have all this mess in there at the time, and I knew I was going to have a mess in there. And the line wasn't going to be quite long enough, you know, once it got all its weight on it, to make it up to the control box. So I added an extension to it. Well, now that I'm done putting wires in on this corner, everything else is going to be coming from over there. I went and pulled the line through, unsnarled it, and I had enough cord. Took the line directly up to the power box. Without this. Okay, it's going to be a bitch having to pull that much wire out and put new wire in. So I hooked it up to the power box, and I figured, okay, well, let's go out to the witch and test the line, just to be safe. I did. The line worked. So the failure was definitely in this. There's either one of the connections or there's a break in the line somewhere. But that's some of my old stuff. Well, hook the box back up, witch is firing just fine, box is coming on, problem fixed. Now that that's all done, it's time to move over to Pirate. Last night, I had the same damn problem with wiring. I explained that yesterday. And it was my stupidity that did it. I didn't have the wire connected correctly to the power box, so I had no power over here. Excuse me. Oh, another stupid thing. I mentioned in yesterday's vlog, I slipped and broke one of the dragons. Right there. And there's the other half of it. His front foot broke right in the middle of the leg. I'll be able to fix that. Excuse me, furball. But I'll be able to fix that when I go to put the dragon in. It's not that hard of a fix, I don't think. If I could do what I normally do with it, which is put a wooden dowel where the break is and just slide the pieces together and tack it on. Out here in the pipe, start over here, and this is going back to wiring, to the guy was talking about wiring. I've got a power line that runs from the box down the side of the tent to here. It runs across the top of the wall. In fact, you can see it there. Over to here. I then went across this and down this wall. So when I start my wiring, or start hooking things up, I'm actually going to be starting with this light and working my way down and around. You can see the wire up there. Back to that wood cross member. Hooking lights up with the power on so I can make sure my connectors are making connection. And then that same wire, which is right here, I can plug these 3 spots in. That will take care of that run. That leaves the rest of it. I need to drop one line from there down to the bar and down to the ground to plug that skull in and the 2 candles in. I also am going to tap into that line and run it across here. I can hook up those lines and these lights here, and then over on the other side for the lighting and stuff over here, and do the same thing. Just run a general line tapped off the main line over to here, and I can do what aerial lights I have in this area. I don't think I have any other than the chandelier there. So I just might drop it straight down to the ground, because all my lighting in here is on the ground. So, but that's how I'm going to end up tackling the Pirate. Is it quick? No. It takes a while to go through and hook these damn lights up. Especially if you have a connection that fails. Then you gotta go back and keep making connection until the connection works. This one here was the one I was having trouble with last night. And I'm hoping once I snip those... Okay, hold it. There's the light there. I gotta get used to flipping this phone. As you can see, the wires are real short. I've got to connect or disconnect those, or clip those 2 connections off, and I'm going to see if I can use that light. Still, if there's enough wire there, I can plug into that, and that'll be my first circuit, second circuit, what have you. If there isn't enough wiring there for me to do my connection, I'm going to have to yank that light. That light will go into my workshop down the road, and I'll add some extensions onto it. And I've got a backup light right there that I can put in its place. I'd rather try to use that one if I can. I gotta get my equipment and stuff out here. We are going to get started with lighting up the Pirate. Okay, wife just called dinner. We've had a busy day out, and I don't have the selfie stick with me, so don't have any of the lights aimed, but I've got all the lights plugged in and working in this section, including the candle. You can see it flickering a bit. I also got the hallway done, and we got all the lights up in here except for the ones that go on this fence. I gotta get the fence panel into place. I won't do that until I have to get done with all my other work. I'm in the process now running speaker lines. I've got 2 speakers, one in here that goes in here, and another one goes over in the ship's wheel. And that's the one I'm running now. And I still gotta get the speakers out. I'll do that after dinner and get those taken care of. And then I've got 2 5-volt lines I need to run. One for that guy and one for the one over on the barrel. And then I have 2 control boards I need to put in here. One that will run the captain on the other side, plus this guy and the one on the barrel. That I'm going to need to get put in. Then I can put straw in and be done with it. Though I doubt I will get to it today. At least working on the captain, because that's a pneumatic. I might get as far as the captain and call it quits. But it's hard to say. It takes a while to run lines and stuff. Now 2 5-volts and 2 more 12 volts to run. It's going to be a bit. So anyway, I'm going to go in and grab dinner and then come back out and get back to work on it. Okay, just getting done cleaning up, and I've got a pooch there who wants to go move the truck. So I figure, well, I better get you your nighttime walkthrough. Been busy. I do have a problem. Gypsy, the switch for the cups is working, but I don't have the air on, so the cups aren't working. But I think when I was cleaning up the corner back there with the wiring originally, I may have unplugged the Ouija board from the control board. So I've got to get in there tomorrow and double check my connections because the Ouija board is not coming on. But I've had Sue out here and we were looking at the pirate. And I've got a alteration I need to make in the lighting. Come on, Kay. Over here in the ship's wheel. Kay does not want to come with me because she got snarled up in the electrical cord earlier when she was with Sue, and she's a little freaked. But in here in the ship's wheel area, I'll give you a look at it. Now, those things on camera look fine. They're bright enough. To the naked eye, they're real dark. And what I've got is an orange spot right there. And there's another one over there aimed down at them. And it's just too dark. This whole room, this part of the pirate just seems way too dark. So I think tomorrow I'm going to come in and I'm going to switch out these two orange spots. I'm going to put two orange floods in, aimed down here. Also, the ship's wheel is out of place. So I can't aim the lights on it or on the two guys behind it. You know, until I get the ship's wheel back into place. Currently, I am working back there. I've been back there once or twice already. One, I've got a speaker in back there. I've got another speaker over here. I've got the cords attached to them and they run up to the front porch where the stereos are going to be. And I just got done running a 5-volt line for that guy. He's not plugged into it yet. I got to run a second 5-volt line over here to power him, which will be tomorrow. And then I have two 12-volt lines I also need to run over here. One for the captain, for the board for the captain. And I got a control board that will run him and the guy on the barrel. It needs a 12-volt line. And I don't want to do that in the dark. I will do that tomorrow. You know, so I still got a few things to do over. I got to switch out the lights. I've got a 5-volt line. I've got to get the two skeletons hooked up to their 5-volt power. I've got two control boards to put in, and then I got to get them programmed and their sensors ran. Probably take about half the day, if that. And I got to turn the air compressors on so I can get his control board working and, you know, get his air on, you know, so he's running. Then I have a fence panel to put on, straw to put in, and I've got some lighting for him and for him I need to do. So a little bit of stuff to do over here, but we've made some good progress. I will give you guys another nighttime look tomorrow after we get this all done and I get my light changes and stuff in. For right now, Kaylee and I need to go park the truck, and then we'll give you your end of the day wrap up. End of the day wrap up, and we do have a Kaylee back here playing with her toy. She brought her Buddha out, a very flattened Buddha. It's got a small hole in it. She's been having fun shaking it, sending the fluff everywhere. Backseat of the car lately. I got fluff all over the place. There she is, moving into her spot so she can get on camera so all her adoring fans can see that lovable face. We were kind of all over today. All over the place. Spent some time this morning tracing down the mystery wire and found out it was the control box for the witch. Got it plugged in and found out that the control board wasn't working for the witch. Had to diagnose that problem. Got it fixed. So now the witch is once again working. Sue Ann, when I turned the lights on this evening, walked through the mausoleum, noticed when she was cobwebbing, she had hit one of the wires, the black wire, going to the one of the haunted treasure floods in the mausoleum, and it came loose. She told me about it today. So I got over there and got that fixed. And then tonight I had trunk line 2, trunk line 3 on to test, the lighting over in the Pirate. And I said, the hell with it. I turned all the control boards on too and was double checking things. Noticed the Ouija board is not turning on. It had power, but it wasn't turning on via the control board, the brain box. So I think a wire came loose. I'm going to have to get in there and check. It's either that or there's something wrong with the 5-volt line for, a connection somewhere. But to get in there and fix it, Sue Ann's going to have to destroy some of her cobwebbing. She's got the gate I need to get in there all cobweb shut. So until that cobwebbing is off the thing, I can't get in there. And she was going to start doing it tonight. I said, no, wait till tomorrow. I'm not messing with it tonight. So probably first thing tomorrow morning, I'll get in there and after she gets the cobwebbing down and get the Ouija board fixed. Then the Pirate, we got all the lighting on except for the fence, 1 8-foot long fence panel. And now that I could do tomorrow, will be done tomorrow. I got 1 out of the 2 5-volt lines ran. And I still have 2 12-volt lines to do. I've got 2 control boards to do. I've got to get the 5-volt lines hooked up to their 2 skeleton props. I got things like that. I got to get the captain up and working as well, and that's a pneumatic. And that's all part of doing the control board for him. I'll probably get the skellies up and running first. Those are a little more simpler. But I think we should be done with Pirate tomorrow. At least I should be on my end. I do have 2 lights to change out. The 2 orange spots, I'm going to trade them out for orange floods for the barrel. And go that route. And that should brighten up the ship's wheel section a little bit. And then once the ship's wheel's back into place, I can get the rest of the lights aimed in that area. Right now I have it out of position so I can get in behind it, do wiring. So, tomorrow night we'll give you another look at Pirate with stuff turned on and what have you, so you can see what the finished set looks like. Don't know if I'll have the AC on or not though. But you'll get a look at it. If I can get the Ouija board fixed, get the AC fixed, or the AC, what the hell am I saying AC for? But if I can get the Ouija board fixed, get the Pirate done, and there's still time, then it's moving over to Clown. And Clown is 2 control boards with pneumatics for both that I need to get, up and working. One of them is that box Clown, a new prop. So that will probably take a while to get working. I don't know if we'll get Clown done tomorrow. I'm not even sure if we'll make it into Clown. It depends on Pirate, and Pirate should go fairly quick, I would think. Doing the lights takes a while because you have to do all the damn connections and everything. But past that, I think we're done for the day. Stay spooky. Stay dark.